Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Inshallah, we'll just give a couple of minutes for people to come in. We'll start shortly. It's 8:59, so we'll be starting at 9 o'clock, inshallah. Walaikum assalam, sister, welcome. We'll start inshallah at 9 o'clock. It's 8:59. Ramadan Mubarak. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه وسنة بسنة الدين أما بعد رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا واجتنابه اللهم إنا نسألك خير ما سألك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ بك عبدك ورسولك نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, especially my Isnj community members. Welcome from the masjid. Finally, you get to see our masjid, the mihrab. I know it's been a long time. And inshallah, throughout this Ramadan, I'll be coming to you here every night, 9 o'clock live, inshallah. I see. So, purpose of doing from here in the masjid is to not only give our community members some kind of, inshallah, positivity, hope. Inshallah, we're starting here tonight, the first night of Ramadan, and we're starting with this dua that, oh Allah, open this masjid and our masajid before the end of Ramadan. Even if we can get the last week or last 10 days in here, believe you me, brothers and sisters, I'll be the most happiest man. But until then, inshallah, I'll be here with you every night, 9 p.m. live. We'll be doing a summary. I want to first congratulate the 25 people who came today, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. on our YouTube channel. For those of you who are joining in for the first time, especially on the Facebook, please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've started this 9 o'clock to 9:30 is a summary. It's a very short summary of the juz that will be recited in Taraweeh tonight here at the masjid with my two sons, Hafiz Shahir and Hafiz Suhaib. But the more extended, detailed version is already there, recorded. You can watch at your own free time, at your own leisure time. My suggestion would be that instead of binge watching Netflix or Kindle or Fire or something, it's better that you binge watch these recordings from the daytime, from 4 to 6, inshallah, of the Tafseer, that is the word-to-word explanation. We have started from today, alhamdulillah. We had 25 people today from 4 to 6, 6:30 almost we went. But inshallah, tomorrow we'll try to keep it 4 to 6, inshallah, so that you want the detail, you will get it in the afternoon session. But that afternoon session is not on Facebook. So, walaikum assalam, Brother Javed, welcome. And yes, takbir, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah, we are back live at our Islamic Society of North Jersey. And inshallah, in these summaries, we will try to give you a short summary of the juz that is recited. Of course, the Quran is a whole big ocean. To summarize it into 30 minutes is very difficult. So without further delay, let us start, inshallah. First thing is Surah Fatiha. In the first Taraweeh, we'll be reciting Surah Fatiha and then Surah Baqarah up to verse 150, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the first surah in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put is, Sister Gitanjali, you're both in Facebook and also YouTube. Oh, two places. That's good. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has named Surah Fatiha because it is the opening of the Quran. Now, I'm not going to go in detail because today from 4 to 6:30, I already explained in detail. So those of you who are on YouTube, after this video tonight, you can watch that video. It says Surah Fatiha, Surah Baqarah. So just click on that video and you can watch the details. But I'll just mention here for the people who did not attend during the daytime that the word Fatiha means opening, and it is the opening of the Quran, of the Kitab of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is like a dua. It is like half of it is praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the other half is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for guidance, and then Allah responds to that guidance by telling us in Surah Baqarah, in Surah Baqarah, He tells us the response to the guidance is this book, Kitab, La Rayba Fi. Alif Lam Mim Dhalika Kitabu, La Rayba Fi, Hudan lil Muttaqeen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in these 7 verses, and by the way, I mentioned today there are 12 names of Surah Fatiha. Besides Fatiha, there's 11 more names. What are they? You can watch that video, inshallah. That is there on YouTube. Surah Fatiha is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for help, for assistance, and saying that we worship you only, Allah. And Surah Fatiha is also known as Ummul Kitab, is the mother of all books, meaning it has the whole concise, compact message. The whole message of Quran, is summarized in Surah Fatiha, which basically is asking Allah for guidance, and that response comes in the form of guidance from the Surah Baqarah first ayah. Surah Baqarah is a Madani surah. It has 286 verses. The longest ayah in the Quran is also in Surah Baqarah. It's a Madani surah, meaning revealed after the Hijrah Rasul. Surah Baqarah, in summary, is like a whole codified law. A major portion of Surah Baqarah is about almost 120 verses, talks about Bani Israel, the children of Israel. And so therefore, it is very important to understand that Surah Baqarah, why it mentions the Bani Israel so much. It is because in Medina, there were the Jews living in Medina. When Rasulullah did Hijrah and went to Medina, he met the Jews over there, the Christians, the Aus and Khazraj from the people of Medina. So there are 4 different categories of people, 4 different tribes. And he was, Walaikum Assalam, Brother Harun, welcome. Walaikum Assalam, Brother Aminul Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you on joining on YouTube. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this surah has very, very extensively informed about the children of Israel for me and you to learn a lesson. The lesson to be learned in Surah Baqarah is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing us that, look, do not, O Muslims, O Ummah of Muhammad sallam, do not commit the same mistakes that the people of the children of Israel did. Bani Israel, the word Israel refers to the children of Yaqub alayhi salam, Bani Yaqub. Obviously, Yaqub alayhi salam was the son of Ishaq, and Ishaq was the son of Ibrahim alayhi salam. So that is how the lineage and the connection is there. And so therefore, in Surah Baqarah, the first 20 ayats talk about 3 categories of people. It talks about the believers, mu'mineen, what are their qualities, what are their features. It talks about then the kafirin, or the kafir, the disbeliever, what is their feature, what is their characteristic. And then a good chunk of 13 verses approximately talk about the munafiqeen. Allah has described the hypocrites in the beginning of Surah Baqarah in a very profound way, to warn us, the believers, that do not become like the hypocrites. The worst thing that a person can do in this life is become a hypocrite, become a munafiq. And for details, you can look at that video that I did today from 4 to 6, which is the word by word Quran Tafseer. So I'm just going to touch base here in summary basic things, but details you can find over there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warns us that do not become like the hypocrites. And I mentioned in the video, you can watch that why we have hypocrites in Medina and not in Mecca. For 13 years in Mecca, all the Makki surahs, they don't talk about hypocrisy, they don't talk about hypocrites. But as soon as the Rasul goes to Medina, and the Madani surahs and the Madani ayahs, they talk about hypocrites. Why? Go check back that video, inshallah. And make sure, please, you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that whenever we are live with any of these classes or Taraweeh, you are right away available and you find out about it, inshallah. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about Bani Israel, about the favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them, the in'am and the bounties. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the prophets that were sent to them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions their characteristics. And the biggest thing that is mentioned in Surah Baqarah is about Adam alayhi salam, the creation of Adam, and then the prostration to him asked by the angels to be doing to that, and then the incident of Iblis and how he refused it. Of course, all the details are there, inshallah, in that video you can watch. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about how he sent Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa, down here on earth to be living here as a test, as a trial. And hence we are all children of Adam living here on earth as a test and a trial. And then from there is the shift into the mentioning of the children of Israel and their incidences and their benefit, the 10 different blessings Allah mentions in Surah Baqarah about Bani Israel, children of Israel, that He bestowed upon them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the major incident, the incident of Baqarah. Baqarah is basically, the word Baqarah means cow. And the reason this surah is named Baqarah because of an incident mentioned about the cow in this surah. And so that's why it's very important to understand that why that incident is mentioned, the details of which is in the 4 to 6 video that you have over there. But very shortly, I just want to mention the cow was supposed to be sacrificed in order to get an answer for a murder, a crime that was committed. And the children of Israel, they could have just, sacrificed the cow and get done with it and get the answer. Excuse me. Walaikum salam, Brother Sheikh Razvi, mashallah, Ramadan Mubarak. Walaikum salam, Brother Mohsen, joining on YouTube, mashallah. Please, all of you watching on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get right away with all the videos, inshallah. So the cow was a test from Allah for the children of Israel, that do they obey Allah, do they listen to Allah, do they fulfill the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if they do, then obviously they'll be blessed. If they don't, then obviously that is a test from them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave them a simple order, but they made life for themselves difficult. And you know how they kept asking questions and everything. But the Nazmul Sahib, mashallah, from Masjid Wali joining us. Very good. We want to welcome, inshallah, we're going to shout out to all the people of Masjid Wali who are joining me, inshallah, on Facebook, on Masjid Al-Wali Facebook. Assalamu alaikum, everybody from Masjid Wali. Thank you for joining. Inshallah, we are very, very happy and glad to host our brothers and sisters from Masjid Wali. Give us a shout out, mention Assalamu alaikum or something so we know you're from Masjid Wali. Jazakallah for the administration of Masjid Wali for joining with us in these sessions every night, 9 to 9:30. The summary of the Taraweeh, the juz that we're going to be reciting, inshallah. So the message that is there from the incident of Baqarah, which revolves in this surah, is that do not ask too many questions, because if you do, then too many restrictions will come from Allah in the form of injunctions, and that'll make life for you much difficult. Walaikum salam, Brother Fayyaz Farooq. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak. So it is very important to understand that this incident is about obedience to Allah. Sami'na wa ata'na, not disobedience or pestering or questioning. And the other thing that was mentioned also in this surah, Surah Baqarah, we're just going through a rundown of Surah Baqarah because there's so many things mentioned here. The other thing Allah mentioned here is about the worship of the calf. When Musa alayhi salam went for 40 nights up to the mountain of Tur, the children of Israel, after they had been relinquished and emancipated from Pharaoh, from Fir'aun, from Misr, and they were here at the area of Sinai area, and while Musa alayhi salam had gone to receive the commandments and Torah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they started to worship a calf. And that incident was also mentioned, and how that was a clear abomination from them, from their purpose. And that is why it's very important to understand that they committed a grave shirk, a grave sin, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgave them. And just to mention to you, I mentioned this in detail today in the 4 to 6 session of the Word to Word Quran. But just quickly want to mention you here that the Sharia of Musa alayhi salam was so strict, as mentioned here in Surah Baqarah, that those people who were forgiven because of worshipping for the cow, their tawbah that was accepted, the tawbah for them was to kill themselves. And I was mentioning today earlier that look at the Sharia of Muhammad sallam is so lenient. Rahmatullah, Allah's rahmah is there that we have to make tawbah. We just have to ask Allah for forgiveness, and Allah forgives us. Whereas in their Sharia, the order was much more stricter. And then Allah mentions about the breaking of the. This is mashallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Amil Kareem, joining from Iqra Academy, Piscataway. Welcome. We give a shout out all the brothers and sisters from Iqra Academy, Piscataway. It's a new musalla that just restarted before the lockdown. So we are welcoming all the brothers and sisters from Iqra Academy Musalla from Piscataway. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Faisal, Ramadan Kareem, Ramadan Mubarak from Florida, South Florida. Welcome, joining from there, mashallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Arqam Hashmi from Canada, mashallah, Montreal, Canada. Welcome all these people from different cities and states and countries, even Canada. Anybody from Pakistan here, give a shout out, inshallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Sister Ramsha Zaidi, welcome. And Brother Behzad, mashallah, from Philadelphia. Philadelphia people are joining, mashallah, welcome. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it easier for our Prophet Muhammad sallam, and Allah then mentions that many things mentions about the Bani Israel here. They change the books by their own hands. They hide the truth about Prophet Muhammad sallam. Allah had mentioned about Prophet Muhammad sallam in the Torah, in the Injil, but they deliberately, purposely hid that because they did not want to accept Prophet Muhammad sallam. And the reason for their jealousy was that they were waiting in anticipation that the Prophet that will come Akhir Zaman in the last day will be someone from the lineage of Ishaq alayhi salam. And as you know, Rasulullah was an Arab and he came from the lineage of Ismail alayhi salam. So that became a bone of contention for them. And that is why they did not want to accept him. And that's why they made those changes. And Allah mentions that in Surah Baqarah about their things that they have done. And that's why Allah says to them that why don't you come to the truth? Why don't you come to the haqq? And why do you hide it? The truth is, let the truth be told. And in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the priests and the monks of the Bani Israel that, you encourage your folks and your other people to do righteousness, to do piety, but you yourselves do not do righteousness and piety. You hide the truth. You deceive them from that, inshallah. Wa alaikum salam, Sister Ibtisam and Brother Hamza. MashaAllah, welcome. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the Ahl Kitab, the people of the book, they claim to be the chosen people, the most beloved of people. And each one claim that they're going to go to Jannah and they are the most beloved to Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks them, what is it that makes you think that you are most beloved and going to Jannah? Because they claim that we are the followers of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that the true followers of Ibrahim alayhi salam are those who follow the same message that Ibrahim alayhi salam gave, which is the message of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Allah reminds them of that. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the incident of magic and sorcery by the two angels, in Harut and Marut in the city of Babylon, and then mentions about Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salam, and also the mention of the jinns. And then how they accused that Sulaiman Islam was, as a magician and sorcerer, he was not a prophet, and they tried to do that in order to bring them. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Anab Abdi. Welcome, Ramadan Mubarak. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions over there that this magic and sorcery was only a test, but the people, they learned it and then used it to create dissension and division amongst the human beings, especially husband and wives. We all know how magic and sorcery is used in marital rifts and marital affairs and issues, and that is how we see. And the purpose of this ayah number 103 in the Surah Baqarah about the issue of magic is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to differentiate and distinguish between mu'jiza and miracle and magic and sorcery. Mu'jiza, miracle is way great, the highest thing, very honorable, high, practical the thing. And magic and sorcery is deception and deceiving of the eye and playing with the angels and using them for various things. So it is an abomination. It is something that is despised. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that it's a sin. And anybody who engages in magic and sorcery is not someone who's really a believer, and they lose their faith and iman. So all of that thing is mentioned over there as a warning to us. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in Surah Baqarah also that who is worse than the person who stops people from going to the masjid. This ayah is so amazing in Surah Baqarah that is recited in every first night of every Taraweeh every year, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that who is worse than those who stop people from going to the masjid. And here we are in this lockdown, And of course, nobody's stopping us from coming to masjid, but we're doing it for the sake of our own safety and security. So it's not like people are against, us Muslims or Islam, but it is it's so surreal. It's so deja vu that Allah talks about not being able to going to the masjid, and here we are, um, in this Ramadan, in lockdown, in confinement, and not being able to go to masjid. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this incident was mentioned because of the asbab and nuzul. The thing is that reason of revelation, that the Quraysh, the Meccans, they stopped Prophet Muhammad sallam from praying in the Kaaba, in the hudud of Kaaba. And that was very, very difficult upon our Rasul sallam. So Allah revealed this ayah and saying that who is worse than the person who stops the people from there. So that's why. But again, for those of you who are watching, the masjid is not open, it's closed, it's locked outside. There's an alarm. Please, my masjid, my community people, do not come to the masjid. I am just doing the program from here to at least show you the masjid so that we can have some hope, we can have some tama'anina, we have some affection and love, because I know in these nights, we would love to be here, but we can't. So at least I'm here. Yes, we will be praying Isha and Tarawih here, but it's not open for the masjid. I know brother is asking, are you going to be praying Isha? We will only pray for ourselves. It's just me and my sons. We're going to pray here, and we're going to live webcast. You can see the Isha, and you can pray your own Isha at your home. You can pray your own Tarawih at your home. But the only reason we're going to be webcasting right here on YouTube Live and Facebook, so that you can listen to Quran, because listening to Quran also tranquilizes the soul, it soothes the nafs, inshallah, and gives us some strength of iman. So at least that will, and plus by looking at the masjid and the imam in Tarawih, it will give you some kind of bonding, inshallah. So then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions about the is Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam and Asbat and all the children of Ibrahim alayhi salam, that Allah blessed him and blessed Ibrahim alayhi salam, that all the prophets came from his children. That is why Ibrahim alayhi salam is known as Abul Anbiya. He's known as the father of the prophets, because after him all the prophets came from his lineage. So that's a very big honor and for them. Wa alaikum assalam, Ramadan Kareem, the Anwar family, mashallah, Anwar bhai, welcome. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala here mentions about Ibrahim alayhi salam and Ismail alayhi salam building the Kaaba. وَإِذْ يَرْفَعْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْقَوَاعِدَ. That ayah comes in Surah Baqarah, that both father and son are putting the building blocks of the Kaaba and building the house of Allah. And then Ibrahim alayhi salam made a dua that, oh Allah, I am building this house, فَتَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا. So accept from us. He makes the dua that, oh Allah, I'm doing this big, humongous task, responsibility, building your house. So and making dua for people that they come here from all different parts of the world and pray here and make tawaf and ibadah. So, and he says, taqabbal minna. That teaches us a big lesson, especially brothers and sisters on Facebook. If you're listening, it's very important. The wisdom and the secret behind this ayah, that Ibrahim Islam, being a prophet, and not just a regular prophet, but the father of the prophets, Ibrahim Islam is building the Kaaba, and he is asking Allah and beseeching him that, oh Allah, accept this deed. When you keep in mind, when it was Allah who asked Ibrahim Islam to build it in the first place, and yet he's saying, oh Allah, accept from us. Wa alaikum assalam, brother Abdul Malik, mashallah, from Central Jersey, welcome. Ramadan Mubarak to you. So the wisdom here, hikmah, is that whatever good deed we do, my dear and sisters Islam, whatever, any good deed that we do, we should ask Allah. First of all, before doing the good deed, we should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, I am doing this purely and surely for you. The ikhlas of niyyah. And then ask Allah that, oh Allah, accept this. See, the common misconception we as Muslims have, and I'm no better than any one of you, including myself, the common misconception we have is whenever we are doing something good, oh, it is already accepted. Because I'm doing good, because I'm doing amal salih, it's going to be accepted. No, who knows? What if Allah just throws it back at us and he says that, you're missing ikhlas, or you're missing something, or you're missing perfection? So the lesson to be learned, the dars, the ibar, lesson to be learned in this incident of Ibrahim Islam making dua while he's building the Kaaba, is that, oh Allah, whatever good I do, whatever good my children do, whatever good my parents do, oh Allah, please accept from us. Al-qubul of the amal. And the Sahaba asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, how do we know whatever good deed we do that it is maqbool, it is accepted by Allah? Because we just keep on doing good deeds, there's no result. You do one deed after another, one after another, you say one good word after another. How you know? So Rasulullah said, the best way for you I'm paraphrasing the hadith. I don't remember the exact one, but I'm saying what he meant by saying is that the best way you would know that your deed is accepted is that you do the good deed and then you forget about it. You don't keep remembering it. You don't keep telling people, "Hey, look, I did that. I built the Kaaba. Me and my son Ismail, we built it. Hey, make sure you make dua for me. I did that." We just do the thing and move on and pass. That was how the Sahaba were. The Sahaba, Ridwanullah Ajma'in, they would do good deed in this society and they'll move on. They would not want any recognition. They don't want any praise from people. They don't want any kind of identification. In fact, if somebody would praise them, they would say, "Stop, stop. You are wasting my good deeds." So this is a lesson for us that whatever we do good, especially in this month of Ramadan, in this blessed month, whatever good we're doing, before you do it, first make dua to Allah. Number one, that Allahumma akhlis niyati, oh Allah, purify my niyyah. And number two, Allahumma taqabbal minna innaka anta samiun alim. Oh Allah, please accept this deed, this action from us, for you are the samiun alim. You are the all hearing and all knowing. Wa alaikum assalam. Ramadan Mubarak Saleh. Thank you for posting the message. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this incident is giving us an idea of how father and son both are working together to build the house of Allah. And then he makes the dua that, "Oh Allah, bless this people and bless this land with fruits and nurturing." And that dua of Ibrahim al-Islam that he made back then, thousands of years ago, till this day, they are the barakah of that dua, the ameen of that dua is what we see. The oil and all the benefits of Saudi Arabia and everything. This is all from the dua of Ibrahim Islam. Otherwise, that was a pure barren land, deserted area. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Kareem Muhammad, Ramadan Kareem. Brother Abdul Jabbar, wa alaikum assalam, Ramadan Kareem. Brother Hamza Khalid, wa alaikum assalam, Ramadan Kareem. So then Allah also mentions in this surah Ibrahim about that he made a dua that, "Oh Allah, send in this land, the land of the Kaaba, send a prophet from amongst them." Wa alaikum salam, Brother Shahid Umar from Pyramids, Ridgewood, mashallah, Bergen County. Welcome, Ramadan Kareem. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ibrahim salam makes dua to Allah, and Allah listened to his dua, and in the answer of this dua, he sent Muhammad sallam from the lineage of the children of Ibrahim, meaning Ismail Islam. The same son, Ismail Islam, who was helping Ibrahim Islam build the Kaaba, Allah sent Muhammad Sallam from him. As a result of the dua. That is another lesson in this incident, that we should always ask dua, beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for good things, and ask dua for good things. Ask dua good for your progeny, for your offspring. He made dua to Allah that Allah said to Ibrahim Islam, "Inni ja'aluka imama." I'm going to make you imama. Immediately Ibrahim Islam said, "Wa min dhurriyati," "Oh Allah, from my dhurriya, from my children." Alaikum assalam, Sister Zain, Ramadan Kareem. Thank you for joining us, inshallah. So one of the things that has to be understood over here, Ramadan Kareem to everybody, mashallah. One of the things that is to be understood here is that never ever underestimate the power of dua. The dua that Ibrahim Islam made with his son Ismail thousands of years ago became true and fruitful in the coming of Prophet Muhammad sallam many years. Between Ismail al-Islam and Rasulullah sallam, there is no a single prophet. But the dua is answered. So Allah is teaching me and you a lesson in this, that O people, O Muslims, always be positive, always be progressive and productive, and always make good dua. Make good dua for yourself, your progeny, your offspring, for future. Because Ibrahim Islam was not alive to see Muhammad Sallam come in Mecca over there. But on Yawm al-Qiyamah, he will see him in Jannah. Ibrahim Sallam will see his great-great-grandson Muhammad Sallam. But the result of this dua is that Allah sent a messenger to that area of that land. Then Allah also mentions about the Ibrahim of the sons and children of Ibrahim al-Islam, and the Bani Israel, the people of Yaqub al-Islam, they claim that they have more right on him, and they claim that he is a Jew. The Christians came and they claim that he is a Christian. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala refutes that claim in this surah, Surah Baqarah, saying that Ibrahim al-Islam was neither a Jew nor a Christian, but he was Hanif Muslim. The word used there is Hanif. Hanif means monotheistic, believing in one. Wa alaikum assalam, Brother Gibran Aziz, Ramadan Kareem, welcome on YouTube, mashallah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about the children of Ibrahim Islam and Yaqub al-Islam, and there is a very important ayah that is mentioned here, which I want to mention here. ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه يعقوب يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. This is ayah number 132 in Surah Baqarah. where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and Ibrahim instructed his sons and Yaqub alayhi salam saying, "O my sons, indeed Allah has chosen for you this religion. Do not die except while you're Muslims." Yani Ibrahim alayhi salam and Yaqub alayhi salam were so worried and concerned about their children, about their offspring, that they tell them, please don't you dare die except on the deen of Islam, on the monotheism, on the oneness of God. Meaning they had concern for their children to come, their offspring, their progeny, even though they were prophets of Allah, even though Allah made them a prophet. Wa alaikum salam, Brother Wais Umar, Ramadan Kareem. Thank you for watching from Paramus. So even though they were prophets of Allah, but they had a concern for the iman, for the faith of their children. There's a lesson for me and you as Muslim fathers, as Muslim mothers, as Muslim parents. It's a lesson for us that are we as much worried and concerned about our children, especially us living here in America, in the West, America, Europe, in the Western Hemisphere or Australia, anywhere, that are we really worried about our children, our future people to come? Will they remain Muslim or not after we die? So we have to make dua for that, just like Allah mentions here about them. And then Allah mentions in verse number 133, and we finish with that today. أم كنتم شهداء إذ حضر يعقوب الموت إذ قال لبنيه ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك إبراهيم وإسماعيل وإسحاق إله واحد ونحن له مسلمون. And Allah subhanahu is saying to Muhammad sallam, the first addressee of this ayah, that were you present when Yaqub alayhi salam was at his deathbed and was dying? And were you present at that time of Muhammad sallam when he was on his deathbed, and he told his sons that ما تعبدون من بعدي قالوا نعبد إلهك وإله آبائك. They said that we will worship you, your God, Allah, and the God of your forefathers, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ismail wa Ishaq wa ilahu wahida wa nahnu lahu muslimun. Meaning, Father Yaqub alayhi salam, on his deathbed, on his dying, he is so worried, what are my children going to do after I die? There's a lesson for us. It's an eye-opener for us, that are we equally concerned? We spend so much money and time and energy investment on our children for their studies, for their career, for their job, for their education, the best universities, the best colleges, the best schools, the best degrees, the best professions. We do so much, tirelessly, endlessly, father and mother, day and night, people working 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Why? So that my child can have a good living, so that my child can have a good education, so my child can. At the same time, yes, that's fine. We're not criticizing that. Islam is not against that. Islam is saying that's a good thing. But here, the Quran and Islam is saying, are you also equally worried and concerned about the faith, about the iman of your child, just like you are worried about the career and life of your children? That is the message in this, and we stop over here for tonight. Inshallah, tomorrow night, again, 9 p.m., we will join here with a summary of Juz number 2. Which starts off from سيقول السفهاء, and then so we'll continue from there, inshallah. And therefore, we will now break over here. Those of you who are on YouTube, there's going to be a 30-second delay. We're going to switch from this video to another for the Isha, Salah, and Taraweeh. So just remain on the channel. Don't go away. People on Facebook, you can still see that, inshallah, we'll be there. So we're going to be giving azan of Isha right now, then pray 4 rak'ah Isha. And then after that, we'll start the Taraweeh, inshallah. So I'm ending for YouTubers. I'm just ending this stream, and we're going to be starting. Did you connect? Did you connect the stream? It's live? Okay, so
On a different live stream, it's on the same channel.
yeah, stay on this channel. I'm just gonna this video, and you will see the other one pop right up, and you can join it there.